Yes, and we are.
Reconturista episode, I don't even know, 1024?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like
been a while.
1023.
I think so, man. It seemed like just yesterday we were doing 1023.
It was just yesterday.
Just yesterday.
Didn't we have a big party at our 1000th?
Yeah, I don't
must
know.
have forgot all about it.
I forgot
We
it.
blew it out.
I forgot all about it. Yeah, we actually, right before this, Dave was doing a improv warm-up, which was a lot of fun. And we started talking about performing. Now, you have... You, I'm sure, were a very good improv person. I, not so much a very good improv person.
Well, I remember you telling me you didn't like it all that much.
I didn't like it.
You said you weren't good at it.
I wasn't good at it, and it's a kind
Probably
of a
because you didn't like it.
Well, it's like there's a kind of a, it's like either stand up or improv. You got some people that can go both ways, but
Well, I'll say. There's two on this podcast.
I think our podcast is took a whole nother turn. We're woke. That's all we're trying to say. We're woke.
But we're both from the country, so we're going to call our site Corn Hub. Has somebody bought that yet?
Probably. Every time you
Get on my... Somebody, where's my
Every time
assistant?
we come up with something, somebody has it. But see, like, for me, it's like, when I did it was, I did it in Dallas, and the guy that ran it was kind of like, he was an okay guy, but he was kind of sort of like a little Napoleon, kind of deal. He would literally tell you, like, no, that's wrong. I'm like, that's improv. How the hell?
It wasn't Chris.
No. This is in Dallas.
Oh,
in
in
Dallas. Yeah.
Sorry.
I took classes here, too. But yeah, for me, it's like I had to hang out with people too much, and I just wasn't down with having to be a joiner. I'm not a joiner. At the end of the day, I'm not a joiner. I can barely fucking do this with just two people. I'm just not a joiner.
Well, we all appreciate it, Brian.
I started thinking today, I really miss performing, but I'm not sure the audiences do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you never know. You'll know if your moment is right pretty quickly.
But I'd say I think you would be a very good improv person because you let go, and you that was the thing with me. I was always trying to think too much, and the reality is you shouldn't be thinking; you should just be reacting.
Yeah, it's an oddball kind of thing to do. It's an interesting endeavor, and everybody by and large, the people that did it well were pretty interesting people.
Oh God, yeah, man, and I would be in awe. Like you're talking about, like you'd see some performances, and you'd just be sitting there going, "How?" I mean, somebody would say something, and I'd just be like going, "How in the hell did you come up with that?" Like, oh my God.
We had some pretty. It was a hit or miss thing because it's just so easily bomb.
Oh
especially
yeah,
at first,
yeah. But
and I had a problem, and we all had shortcomings, but we had I was in a couple of troops, the Collective and Magna Carta, and we got real lucky. We got this little theater down in the Bywater that this guy let us have every Saturday night for like a year and a half, and we had a variety show. We would have improv and like skit and stand up, and it was like it held like 20 people, and it was just, God, it was so much fun.
Yeah,
and there were moments of just magic.
Oh yeah,
magic.
There were, when I first started out doing stand up, it was at a club above a bowling alley, and I tell you, man, there was nights there that I would put up against any good night at the Improv. I mean, there'd be some nights that would just be just amazing. And I love those start out things when you're starting out because it's such a crapshoot. The weirdo, shithole, oddball places you'd have a show. It was always like off, in the middle of, I've done shows in bars when they still have all the TVs on, everybody's playing pool and playing fucking darts and everything. I've done shows where I've stood in between dartboards.
Wow.
Seriously.
I mean, that's like an Indiana Jones kind of trap.
Man, you heckled everybody there except for the dart people. You didn't heckle them. Seriously, we came the week before. I thought
so you're like a dartboard here and a dartboard there, and you're like,
yeah. No, I did. I told the week before we came there and walked in, and the guy goes, "Hey man, great you're here for the show." I go, "Well, where's the microphone?" He goes, "Microphone? Well, yeah, we need a mic for this thing." He goes, and he's standing behind the bar, like here's the bar here, I'm right there. He goes, "Oh," and he reaches back and grabs one of those microphones like from junior high with the bass on it, that you hold down. He goes, "Here, use this," and handed it to me, and I swear to God, it came like this far in front of the bar. And he was these people were sitting there next to me. I go, "Hey, you want me to do a show?" And this guy looked at me and goes, "Fuck no." And then turned back around and kept on drinking. I'm like, "See, I need a microphone somewhere else." So the guy goes,
no.
"Yeah." So the guy goes, "Come back next week." So he come back the next week, and that's when he did. He had an amp and a mic and a stand up on this little stage they had there. But there was the dartboards were right behind it, and the people were playing darts. And I'm like, "Okay, great." I go, "So we'll get this show going. Going to stop the dart people playing darts." He goes, "Fuck no, man. They're my best paying customers. It's league night, man." I was like, "What do we have to do?" He goes, "Go up there and do your fucking show." When he was paying us, I'm like, "All right." So we did. We went in between people playing darts, just going by our heads, man, just whipping by. Every time you're doing like a punchline, just darts flying along. It was awesome.
So were you actually trying to make a living at like stand up and stuff? I mean, you've told me about shows, so you were like touring or something.
No, I mean
impressive.
what I would do is I would take off on my vacations and I would book shows on. I do like weekend gigs out of town, and then when I take my vacation, I go I do like weeks up in Oklahoma City at Jokers, and they're all names like that. Jokers or the Hootie Hottie Hut or Hoo-Hoos or
wow.
And I did all that, and then I decided I was going to move to Los Angeles. And I did, but what happened is in between that is I started writing, and I mean I always wrote my jokes, but I started writing sitcoms and everything like that, and that's when I realized I'm a much better writer than I am a performer. And so once I got out there, I was like, I got to do one or the other, and it was like writing is what I'm better at. Now I wanted to do it, but the reality is I didn't have that sort of killer or do anything to make it mentality. I got a friend of mine, he lived in a car,
Right.
He's just like, "I'll live in a car." I'm not going to live in a car, right? So,
Yeah.
so I try, like say, so for me, it was writing. I always enjoyed stand up. I always had a good time with it, but like if I ever thought I was going to make it as a stand up, nah. And once I started writing, I realized that was really what the gig is.
And you gave that a shot.
Yeah, and it worked out pretty well. I got to do a few things, and then reality TV came into play. And when reality TV came in, out there, all these people that were sitcoms just kind of sort of shrunk and went away. And so all these people that used to go from they'd be on one sitcom at one level and move to another one, move up and do this bit. There was people would go down 3 levels to try to just be on one of the few shows because reality television came in. And it was so cheap to make.
Wow.
Really cheap to make. And so what happened, and it's kind of a combination of, I also went to go see, I think I told you this, I was starting to miss the South around that time, and I went to go see a movie. I went to go see a Wilco show, a Wilco movie, and there's some festival, and it was sold out, and I was kind of pissed, and then I saw there was a movie there called The Rough South of Larry Brown. I go, well, it's got South in it, I'll go watch it. I had no idea who the hell Larry Brown was. Well, he's this writer they call Rough South writers, like Harry Cruz, those guys, write about, and I told you this, he wrote about people that I thought, man, I grew up around those kind of people. I didn't think you talked about them, much less freaking wrote about them. And so that blew my mind. I was very regimented before, here's your sitcom script, and it has to stop at this beat, and beat here and stop on this page, this act and all that stuff. And Larry was just like, man, I just let my characters go. I mean, they do shit that, man, I wouldn't do it, but they fucking sure would. I remember I was like, whoa, and it totally blew my mind. And so then I looked at Donna, I was like, well, I'm writing differently now. And it hit me with reality TV and everything and jobs getting harder. I was like, man, I can exist out here and just barely kind of make it by. And I don't even want to write this way anymore. I was like, man, I think I'm going to move. And I remember Donna, she fucking hated it out there. And I looked at her, I go, hey, Donna, man, Donna, you think it'd be cool if we moved to Oss? And before I got to Ton, she already had 2 bags packed. I'm like, let's go. I'm ready to go. So when I went out there, if I had to do it over again, I'd probably be try to get a little more killer instinct with me. I didn't have it. And, but that's just what it is. And, but it was fun. It was fun. It's funny though, when I was out there, when you're out there trying to do something, you can totally, it's like you have blinders on and you see none of the bad, right? Because you're like, okay, I'm doing this. And as soon as I said I was leaving, it's like those blinders came off. all the nasty shit was just, I can remember like right after I said it, I'm moving. Yeah, that's it. We're going to move. Yeah, okay, we're going to move. And I remember I came up to a stoplight and I looked over and there's some guy taking a shit on the side of the road. And I remember just like, yeah, I probably wouldn't have seen that about a week ago if I thought I was still going to be living here. It's like,
shit.
I would have just somehow blocked that. I'm like, no, nobody's happening. I'm trying to make it here. And as soon as I said, no, I'm out of here, it's like, oh, all the ugly. I got to go quick.
That is funny. That is funny how that is.
Yeah, it was. Because beforehand it was like, I could look past anything. Totally look past anything. I had like some crazy guy tried to attack me with a 2x4 as I was waiting in line to go up and perform at the Laugh Factory. And some dude comes out, he was just a crazy guy, and we're all waiting there and just comes up with some 2x4 running for me. And I had to literally take off and run around, the place to lose the guy so I could get back in line to go, to go up and do 3 minutes at the Laugh Factory. 3 fucking minutes, man. Oh, it was crazy. And then you meet Jamie Messina at the end of it, who runs the whole thing, and he looks at me, he goes, let me see. He's like this Lebanese guy. He goes, let me see. Have I ever seen you before? I'm like, no, it's my first time here. He goes, like what I see. Come back next week. I was like, okay. Come back next week. He goes, I like what I see. Come back next week. So I was like, just come back next week. You never went anywhere. It's just like, come back next week. And yet, literally, you had to wait in line all day long. You waited all day long to get into a slot for 3 minutes to come back that night and do 3 minutes. It was just, I guess,
who would want,
I guess a narcissistic ego freak like me was all over that shit. It's a real pain in the ass, man.
Right. Yeah, it sounds like it.
But it was fun. Yeah. How about you? Did you ever want to be paid performer?
Sure.
Did you? Was that why you went to New Orleans?
Well, no, I didn't. I didn't expect that. That wasn't like a career goal.
Yeah.
But it was an exercise. It was it was a practice to do something I really wanted to do.
You ever want to do improv, like get an improv troupe here?
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
But I went to a couple of classes here in
Cold Town or Hideout.
I think it might have been. Yeah, let's see. Who is it? I can't remember. I can't remember who they were. It was okay. It was just felt so different, New Orleans had this thing going on,
Yeah.
But, so
it's a little. It's got. There's a lot of them here. There's a ton of them here, But it's like a lot. For me, it's a bigger commitment than what I want to do for that. That being improv, a bigger commitment. And also for me though, now stand up, I love doing it, but it's like right now they're like starting back to having a couple of open mics here.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, I'm not going to go to a fucking open mic with maybe getting COVID here. It's like, I can barely go to open mic with 8 hours of rest and a bowl of Wheaties, man. It's like, it's, I love doing it. But you got to kind of hang out there, and you got to hang out and watch a lot of people that probably should be going to therapy instead of being up there.
An open mic.
Yeah, it's a trip. And I can tell you this much: out of most open mics, you'll see literally out of 35 people, you'll probably see one person that kind of has something, kind of has. The rest of them are pretty awful. But you'll see that one person, and it's kind of cool just to watch. If you see that one person, it's kind of inspirational. Like, all right, cool. I keep going and doing some stuff. It's fun though. It's fun.
It is fun.
It's a fun time.
I did some stand up. I did it. I was there was an open mic at the House of Blues down in the French Quarter.
Oh wow!
And I went to that and did a set, and it was yeah, man. I thought it was good. I mean, and I thought I had good material. I was basically just sounded a lot like Bill Hicks, in a ways, the themes and stuff. But man, that was a cool stage to be on.
Yeah, it's pretty. When you get up there and you're in the zone, it's a hell of a feeling.
There's nothing like it.
It's a hell of a feeling, man. I mean, it is great. Now, when it sucks, I've choked somebody, bombed somebody times. I'm feeling your throat kind of like, I've had people yell. I've had people scream. I told you, like,
there's no net.
There's nothing. Nobody can save you. You can't tap out. Now, I've had people yell at me. I mean, I told you about Amarillo. I did a gig in Amarillo, Texas, and I was opening up for like a hypnotist. That was a hypnotist, and like the guy running the place was the bartender. It was in a hotel. It was a bar in a hotel. The guy that was running the whole thing was the bartender there too. This big old huge guy, and he like looked at me, and everybody in there was drunk as shit. Right? They were like, guess the only place to go in Amarillo. Drunk as shit. And he looked at me. He goes, "All right, man." He's like, "You ready to go up and start your comedy?" I go, "Yeah, man, I sure am." I go, "Who's gonna bring me up?" He's like up there. He goes, "Boy, this is Amarillo, Texas. You just get up there and be fucking funny." I swear to God, I was like, okay. So I went upstairs on the stage and I go, "Are y'all ready for some comedy?" These people were drunk. They started whooping it. And I go, "All right." And I said, your first comic come to stage. And I said a bunch of shit. I go, "Please get it out for Brian Fuller." And then I started clapping and I ran off stage and I ran right back up on stage. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I swear to God, Dave, it was just like this. It was like, and then from the very back of the room, this guy yells out, "We hate you." Before I even said it.
Wow.
And what's funny is I like sat there for a minute.
Disagreed.
I said that nobody disagreed. I was like, well, I guess it's unanimous. I look at I said, well, you know what? I have a feeling about 5 minutes, I'll probably fucking hate you too, but let's get the show on the road. And so I just started doing my show. And they hated every bit of me. Hated every bit of me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and it was awesome because I was just like, every time I say something, I go, yeah, that one's another hit at a place that people give a shit. All right, let's go to the next one. I would just start getting antagonistic. I mean, it was awesome. It was awesome. But it was horrible, but it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's something to that. I mean, like comedy is one of those things that, you can be antagonistic in it, and if you're funny at it, then it's like Andrew Dice Clay, the perfect example of, like in improv, the easiest thing for me to do was to play characters.
Yeah.
And so I would just adopt a certain kind of persona, and it might be like a psycho, or something like that. And, the villain. That's the point. Yeah, that's the point. Like playing the bad guy. Like Andrew Dice Clay being the bad guys. That's kind of easy. It's almost easy pickings if you're just game.
Yeah.
To go at it like that.
But that shit's fun. I mean, for me that night, it was like, there's a phrase from the movie The Freshman with Matthew Broderick and Marlon Brando where Brando's characters just ruined his life, just screwed him up. And he's like, it's in New York, and he's sitting there looking out over the East River, and he said, man, there's a certain freeing element to knowing that you're totally screwed. And that's what I felt like during that night. I was like, you know what? These people fucking hate me. It ain't going to go anywhere, so I might as well just have some fun with it. Which is unlike a lot of times when that happens, to be honest with you, I've been dumb enough to think I could pull it off. And I just suck and trying to like get him back and, it's pathetic.
I don't think you don't get much of a, I don't think you don't get much of a second chance in that.
No, there's
like if you start like if a crowd hates you, if they're just set that way, man, it's a tough road to hoe, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, you at that point, the only jokes you really get are when you're self-deprecating. about something. That's about it, But you got to go through all those sorts of deals. I mean, you live through them. I mean,
you've seen that infamous Bill Burr Philadelphia?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Where he just
I've never seen it. I've just listened to it.
Yeah, like there's a bad video of it or something.
Yeah,
there, and yeah, it's like the most brutal example of just
because he walked out there and they just were off the bat. They're ready to, And I've never understood this. Like, we've gone and done shows where like they hired you, for like these, especially these like fraternity places and stuff. They hire you, and then you get there and they're paying you like really good money, and you get there and you're like, why'd you even do this? I mean, because you can tell they're pissed off, they're angry, they're yelling, and it's just like, what the fuck, It's like, I remember like the worst thing is like with the comedy clubs, there would always be these girls would bring in their, like the guys have the bachelor party, what do the girls call that one? Bachelorette party, whatever. They would always have them at a comedy club, and it was the dumbest thing because they fucking hated. I don't know why they ever came. They'd all come in with, dicks for noses and all this stuff and sit there and start yelling at you, and you're just like, Jesus Christ. It's like, why'd you even come here? I remember just like giving them shit. It happened all the time. All the time there's a bachelorette party, and I, for the life of me to this day, never known why they would ever book them to go to a comedy club. I could never figure it out. They were all drunk as shit. They hated being there. No idea why. No idea why. I remember one time they got pissed off. Let's go, man, fuck you. We're going to go to Le Bear's. I go, well, I just the only difference between the guys at Le Bear and us is like, we want to fuck chicks. And they just got all pissed off. I go, enjoy this, watching the gay guys dance because they don't give a fuck about you. And believe you me, if they weren't gay, after hanging around you, bunch of little bitches, they'll be ready to be fucking gay right now.
That's no shit.
And so it was like,
they're wearing dick noses.
And they were, they were like all pissed off. We fuck you, fuck you, and just started screaming. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah. They were the worst. Yeah.
I never understood that. It was just always like, why do you come here? It's without fail. Every bachelorette party was a nightmare.
That's it. I guess that's why.
And you'd be sitting in the back going, because, like, you kind of like going, oh man, should I go up? And there's always this really kind of weird masochistic thing that you go, yeah, I got to go up. Well, I don't know if it's masochistic or almost you're thinking you're the fucking hero. Like, I'll win him over. No, you never do. It never happens.
Yeah. That's a tough crowd.
Yeah, I've known a few people that have turned it around from sucking at first to getting it, and I can only think of, in all honesty, 2 times I've ever seen that, and it was just amazing to watch how that worked out. But normally, you're right. Once you're kind of biting it, you're biting it. It's like a foot-long sandwich. You're eating that whole goddamn thing.
It's a shit sandwich.
I'm full. Nope, you got a whole another 10 inches, boy.
Man, you never
something in prison.
You never want to hear that. That's a line. You never want to. Bad news, baby.
But at least improv.
What?
At least improv, there somebody could come on stage and help you out a little bit, or
Yeah,
I always did enjoy that part of it. I thought, that sort of gang feel. That's what I love about bands. What I love about bands is like it's a gang. Like the Replacements were like a fucking gang. I mean, you hit one of them, you've hit all of them. Like Black Flag was that way. You jump on one, they're all jumping on you. I mean, I love that gang mentality.
Yeah.
So like, here, if somebody punched you, I'd go fucking run and tell somebody to get over here and help you out.
Yeah, I know. Thanks. Thanks in advance. I'll be taking you on all my next Hell's Angels, my next Bandito investigation.
Well, good. Yeah, I'll just let you be Hunter Thompson on your own.
Yeah, you're not even going to be...
I'm not going to be his lawyer.
The Samoan lawyer.
I'm not going to be his lawyer.
Or... Yeah. 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 That's right.
That's not going to happen.
That's not gonna happen.
Hey, by the way, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm done.
Well, I was just going to say that on this show, I'm going to have to, because I told you this earlier, dedicate this show to Joe Camarillo, the drummer for, I'm not pouring you any, so don't worry about it.
I'm good.
Joe Camarillo, the drummer for the Waco Brothers. He passed away this week. And he died, I think it was from a heart attack, unfortunately. The part that really restores your faith in humanity is they set up a GoFundMe page for him for help with his his funeral, and they put a goal of $12,000. I just checked a little bit ago. It's up to $39,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really
Joe.
Yeah.
So
the Waco Brothers.
God, because man,
those guys.
And I mean, when I saw that, it just, first of all, it made me sad for him. But then it's like remembering all the fun at those Bloodshot record shows in the alley behind Yard Dog for South by Southwest.
Yeah, that was always a highlight.
Oh,
that was always a highlight.
Oh, man.
I remember seeing them before it got too crowded. Man, they came on and they did a version of Baba O'Reilly.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
It sounded like they'd never done it before, but, they probably had a way of recreate. Well, they just probably never rehearsed or anything, but they pulled it off, and it sounded like a train wreck about to just collapse on its own.
Oh, yeah.
But it came together just in their,
And then when they're all like so drunk.
Yeah, they're all like, I've never seen John Langford look sober.
Well, it's funny. I've seen him in other places. I've seen him like at South by Southwest. I've seen him like at the Broken Spoke and over the Jolvitas, a couple other places. And while they're good, something about that Bloodshot record day in that alley, they just brought it to a whole nother level. Now, it probably had to do with the fact they were hanging out at Guerrero's for hours on end drinking margaritas before the whole thing started.
Yeah, they were one of those good drunken pub bands, I always call them sort of what I call them, the poor man's Clash. Or,
oh yeah, like if the Clash met Johnny Cash.
Yeah,
yeah. They were
just defiant, and John Langford is. Man, I remember speaking of somebody getting after the crowd. I mean, this was, just like kind of when cell phones started becoming just obnoxious. Everybody, and it was you would assume somebody was a pretentious radio executive fuck.
Yeah.
And somebody did that, pulled out a phone that shows you how long ago this was actually.
Yeah.
But pulled out a phone and in between songs, John Langford just eviscerated this guy.
Yeah.
And just as you reckon, you some kind of publicist scum? Are you what kind of scum?
Oh yeah.
Oh man. So they just had this kind of defiant attitude.
It was like, for a while there, it started getting really crowded because there weren't that many day shows, and people found out about it. It was kind of nice once more day shows started coming, that kind of didn't get as crowded. But I remember for a while there, before it got kind of legit, that you could go over to Guerrero's, get a margarita, walk back over there with your margarita, go there, drink it. Then when the band was gone, go back and take your margarita glass to Guerrero's, get another margarita, head on back over there.
Yeah.
And those guys were they would be out of their minds, man. Just, that alley, you'd be in that alley and you'd hear, French being spoken, German being spoken. I mean, you hear all these different, I used to laugh. I go, all these people fly across the world to come hang out in an alley in Austin, Texas and drink beer. Because, it was literally an alley just right there. And there's the band stage set up there, and there you go, and that's the show for the day. Oh man,
brilliant!
Just
frankly, brilliant.
Freaking all. There's so many.
It's what a thing it turned out to be, huh?
Oh, and watching, and like you said, Langford and Dougherty, and Dino. I mean, all those guys were awesome. But you're right. Langford is just a ringleader and a half. You know, just a ringleader and a half. That guy when he get into stuff.
Yeah. I mean, and boy, what a smart guy. I had a conversation with him one time, just on a fluke, man, and super smart guy.
And he'll talk to you. He'll hang out and talk with you.
Oh yeah, man, super friendly. I mean, real friendly.
Yeah.
You know, just I've run into so many, but you know, I've run into so many friendly Brits.
Yeah.
That's the thing, man. If they're the traveling Brits are usually like you know, fun people to hang out with.
There was one, I was hanging with a bunch of Brits inside of the Continental Club, and we were all hanging out there during South by, and I said, oh man, I got to go get a beer. And this guy goes, hey mate, he has some big coat. He goes, that's what he just reached in his pocket and pulls out a beer, and reaches down his sleeve and pulls out a beer. I was like, well, thanks. Hey, okay. And it was cold. It was cold. So I'm drinking it, and later I go, here, I'm going to buy you a beer. He goes, oh, no, mate. And he reaches in and pulls another. I mean, I don't know how this guy had these in there. I mean, it was fantastic, man. So we're just hanging at the Continental Club in the back, just drinking beers.
He snuck beers in his sleeve?
He had them be good, and he would reach in and pull them out. Wow. They were cold, and it was like, it was hilarious, man.
I'll be back. You know, he looked like the Terminator walking in. Oh, this guy's big. Don't fuck with him.
Oh man, it was fantastic.
He's got arms like beer kegs.
You know, that's the thing is at South by, it's like I started thinking about, like, I was talking to Donna the other night because I was playing this record. Have you ever seen King Kong and the Shrines?
And the what?
The Shrines. It's King Kong. He's in a bunch of different bands. He's
Barbecue
no,
Show. No,
and,
I don't.
Yeah, he's this great guy. He's from Canada. He's an Indian guy from Canada, but now he lives in Berlin. And he's just this. If you go check this out, go listen to anything by King Kong and the Shrines. It's rock up, rave up, great music. He is a hell of a front man. I mean, he'll come out, he's got this big belly, and he'll come out there with no shirt on, just these poony pants, come walking around, and a headdress on. I mean, it's crazy. But one time during South by, they did a show behind Bert's Barbershop over on the east side, and they did a show at 10 in the morning on a Thursday. And I remember Don and I went there. We got there early. I think they're coming on at 10:30. We got there in the backyard of Bert's Barbershop. They have it set up there for the show. And they have only two things are giving out there, beer and whiskey. And everybody's drinking both of them to the point that by the time the show starts, the crowd is pretty lit. And then the band comes out, and they're all from East Berlin, right? These guys look like they were still going from last night, right? They come out. Then here comes King Kong walking out with a cape on, a headdress, just these puny shorts and his shoes, and a pitcher of beer. And a staff just walking out, drinking his pitcher of beer, walking out, gets up there and puts this show on at 10:30 on a Thursday morning. That was just outrageous. I mean, the whole place is drunk on whiskey and beer. I mean, the whole place. I mean, you know, by noon, everybody was back home asleep. I mean, it was just like one of those just crazy nights, because that's what I miss about South by, is that just stumbling in to just stupid shit. Nowhere.
Yeah, man. That reminds me of...
You've done that.
Yeah, but that reminded me of something else. That reminded me of like a road trip I took to... me and some buddies took to Lafayette, Louisiana.
Yeah.
And we wound up in this place. What was it? Mamu. When we went to this place called Fred's Lounge. Mm-hmm. And it was only open like 8 a.m. to like noon on Saturday.
From what?
Like 4 hours on Saturday morning was the only time it was open.
8 a.m. till noon?
Yeah. But the thing is, they had like a radio show that they did live at that time, and had been like going on for 50 years.
Wow.
Anyway, Fred was dead, and but his wife Tante Sue was taken. So the thing would happen in the morning.
Tante Sue.
Tante Sue. Tante Sue, is she? It's Aunt Sue. You know, that's what the Tante. Oh wow. Jeez, it all comes back to that, doesn't it? Son of a bitch.
I was wondering how quick you catch on to that one. If I'm the one drinking, I should be the one behind the curveball.
Oh, wow. Wow. The return of the taint. Or should it be the taint returns?
Taint no getting away from it, bruh.
No. All is taint. There's the next T-shirt.
Snake taint will live on forever.
All is taint. Taint misbehaving now.
Okay, so what was it at that place?
Huh? Oh.
Yeah, you already know the story.
Oh.
God damn, Dave, I'm the one that's drinking, and you're like, come on, man.
Yeah. So anyhow, there was 4 hours there, and it would be a mix of like the local Cajuns, because it's just this little old Cajun town, and it's for real legit, man. Like, I remember asking somebody directions to this club, and this guy was speaking English, and I didn't understand him.
Oh, really?
He's like, "Oh God, I go down that call. You take a right avenue, you take a left, and then you two blocks. I don't know. Just like."
When did you become Italian?
Drove. Yeah, I know. I was like, see, how do they talk? I was like, nah, let me go back.
You sound like me. You sound like me when I do, like, say, anytime I ever try to do a.
Oh, let me tell you, you go down 2, 3, or 2 blocks, then you take a.
Yeah, no, boy, here what you doing, son? You take it off down now here, son, and going down, and that way, all that way.
And oh man, those Cajuns can drink too. I will tell you that.
Oh well, really?
And so this place was just jammed. And there was a band right in the floor, and like Waylon Thibodeau and Cajun Fever, and but the thing is, people got soused in there on a Saturday morning.
Oh yeah,
man, and like people bringing like just cardboard boxes of boudin just through the crowd, and you just reach in and take it. And Tante Sue had hot damn. She had a thing of hot damn in a holster, like a bottle of schnapps,
Oh, you mean that cinnamon?
Cinnamon.
What do you call it? Red Hots or Fireball or something?
And she called it was hot damn.
Oh my God! I know people that have those things. It's like, oh man.
And if she liked you, she would like every now and then just like she would just say, open your mouth, and she would just hit you.
Oh my God!
And I remember walking out of there just like fucked up, fucked up. And the bar next door opened up like right after she closed.
Oh, really?
To get the overflow. And I'm like telling this, I've been talking to this Cajun guy, and he's like, man, I got to go mow the yard. I'm like, man, I want to go roll in your yard. And he was, oh, man, I got to mow the yard.
Oh my God.
Anyhow, yeah, partying on Saturday morning. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love when there's that just, over the top, drunk. I tell you, one of the drunkest crowds I've ever been around was a Hank Williams Jr. concert.
Oh, Junior.
Yeah.
Bocephus?
Yeah, it was in college. And
that sounds about right.
It was in college, and I didn't really care about him that much, but these guys I hung out with did. And he was playing the Zoo Amphitheater in Oklahoma City. And the Zoo Amphitheater was a great place to go, because here was the reason for it. It was the weirdest thing. You could not bring in anything in glass, and they didn't sell anything there. But you can bring in whatever you want to, as long as it's in a plastic container. Doesn't matter. So there was a grocery store about a mile from the zoo, and you could tell everybody going to a concert there, they'd be out in the parking lot with these gallon jugs of water, just pouring them out, and then pouring their whiskey and their Coke and stuff into them. And everybody's walking up to this thing with these big gallon containers of whiskey and, Coke, all the scotch and vodka, and you're walking up there. And I don't know who opened up for him, but somebody did open up for him. But when he came out, I remember then he came out and the crowd stood up. I looked around and go, oh my Lord. Swear to God, Dave, it was like 3 people standing, 1 person down, 3 standing, 1 down, 3 standing, 1 down. It looked like a Civil War battlefield of all these just people that were passed out before the show ever even started. Totally. I mean, not just kind of sort of trying to get up. I mean, out like a light, and their friends didn't give a fuck about them, right? Didn't give a fuck about them. And so you saw when people kind of going up and people started walking up, they just leave their friends, and there was all these, like, you look back and there's like all these bodies just laying around up in this, it was kind of sloped up, like laying there. It was crazy. And we got down the front of it, and I can still remember I've never seen so many hot girls take their top off for somebody as ugly as him. I remember I looked there, and you look at this girl, you go, whoa. And then you look at him, you're like, really? And it was so crazy at the front of this thing. People were just passing their jugs down, right? So you just get this jug, and you're just taking a swig out of God knows what, and then a joint would come along, so you hit a joint, then another jug would come or something. It was like, God.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Oh, man, it was fucking nuts. And people were just beyond shit-faced.
Yeah.
Beyond. And then they all got in the cars and fucking drove home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Well, that used to, oh, Jesus, the amount of drunk driving we used to do when I was kids. Holy fuck.
Oh, no, it's like, I'm not proud of it, and I don't
ain't
do it
either.
anymore, but oh, man. But,
Me and my friend Kenny Nance, oh, my God, man. Like, we weren't legal to drink booze, but we got like a pint of Jack Daniels.
yeah.
And we sat in a parking lot, listening to Fog Hat. And
Oh, my God, I listened to that. I heard it today.
Yeah.
Fool for the City. I'm
Fool
so glad you said that.
Yeah,
I fucking love Fog Hat.
Fog Hat.
Fuck.
And we sat out and drank this, what's the other one? Slow Ride.
Slow Ride and Fool for a City. Fool for the City and Slow Ride.
Ride is Fog Hat, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And, and we were saying, it was just classic rock era when we were that.
Oh, yeah.
And like, he always had a real badass car, and he was a badass in a way. He was a bad drunk because he would just turn on you.
Yeah.
And but he was like totally unpredictable, so you never knew what you were going to get. And we were just sitting out there chugging this. Oh, this ain't nothing to me. You call this drinking? This is probably, and got just shit faced, And we were just sitting out, killing it instead of sipping it. We were just like chugging it, and in the parking lot of this place, and like they had torn down a department store, and we're going to put in another better one.
Yeah.
Literally the only thing left on the lot. You know what it was?
What?
It was like a ramp, a concrete ramp for loading. Why that's the last thing left, I don't know.
Oh, no.
And it was go up like that, and it was it's at least 6 feet tall, the ramp, and where you'd load, what you'd load, like big enough to get a load on a semi.
Yeah.
And long, and he was like crazy, and we're sitting there, and he cranks his car up, and he said, reckon what happened if I was to hit that damn ramp going about 60 mile an hour.
Oh, my God.
And I said, I don't know, why don't you try it? He said, by God, strap in. It was like an Oldsmobile with like a 442.
Oh, no, I had a Delmont 88, and those big old cars had badass engines.
Oh, yeah. It was like roar.
Oh, yeah.
Roared,
Oh,
just
yeah.
roared into action with a flood of burnt rubber.
Oh, yeah.
Smell.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And goddamn.
No, wait, you actually were in the car. You just said, hey, I'll just watch you.
No, I was in the car. No, I was in the car with him. And God damn it, he hit that. He was like that, just talk like that. And he's like, no, better strap
So you
in.
actually put your seatbelt on.
You better strap. I put it on. I'm damn glad I did.
Which
too.
you never did back then.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm glad I. And by God, he said, watch that goddamn speedometer. We'll make it. And by God, we hit that ramp at 60 miles an hour. And that old, I think it was a Bonneville, I think.
Oh.
And that thing left the earth.
Oh, my God.
And sailed for a while.
Oh, man.
For a while. On a nice parabolic arc of about 40 feet or something.
Oh.
And it was sailing. And over, he would do shit like this and scare himself so bad that he would be like laughing. He already above there going, we're gonna hit. And we hit ground, and it was just sparks everywhere. Car completely bottomed out, chassis like some kind of, like a crash landing on,
Oh my God.
and landed and just like finally came to, got landed down there and stabilized. And he was like,
y'all didn't smash your head on the...
oh, God damn, we were all over that fucking thing.
Oh, man.
Because it was whoom, whoom,
oh, man.
Oh, God, and it was just... I mean, the movies can't do that justice.
Oh, man.
And, like, I remember trying to drive, and as soon as he got the car running again, he said, what's this? And as soon as he turned loose of the steering wheel, it would just turn all the way to the right.
Surprised it kept running.
I mean, oh, man, just, sparks. You couldn't see the car for sparks. It's like being on the inside of a sparkler. And grinding chassis metal. And him over there. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Jesus Christ.
I have something similar to that. The same
car story.
A similar one. My friend Bill, and I won't use their last name, my friend Billy, and Bob. We all went from Oklahoma State to Tulsa to hang out one night, see some band, and we started coming back the next morning. But we started drinking because we were like, we're going to go back to some party in Stillwater. So we started drinking when we're going back, right? And we're getting pretty drunk in there, and we're in the car, and Bill's driving. And by the way, with Bill drive, he drove everywhere, and he was great until he started getting drunk, and then here would be Bill drinking and driving. He'd hear something in the back seat and turn around and go, hey, what are y'all doing? What's going on there? What? Hey, what? We're like, Bill, watch your road. Watch your road. And go, oh, yeah. All right. But then something else, and they start looking back. So we're in the car, and we're all drinking, and we have chips, right? And it's like, Billy's up in the front, and Bob and I are in the back, and Bob is like going, Billy wants some of the chips. I want some of the chips. And Billy's like, fuck you, I'm not going to give him the chips. And he starts trying to, like, fight for him, right? Well, by that time, Chatfield turns around to start going, hey, what's going on? Sorry, I used the last name, Bill. he goes, hey, what's going on? And he starts looking there, and Billy's like trying to like throw the chips, like they're throwing them at Bob. And then all of a sudden, I guess it was Bob was in the front, Billy was in the back, because I remember, because then Billy looks up, he goes, wall of grass! And we're like, well, look. And what had happened, we'd been going down the highway at about 70 miles an hour. Bill had run off the road and went into a ditch. And it was literally like grass right there. And when Bill goes, wall of grass, and when he did, Bill's car goes, bam, and hit that thing, goes, bam, and goes airborne, right? And when it does, like yours, it was airborne, but we had all these chips and beer everywhere. And I swear to God, Dave, it was like being in fucking outer space. We're all like flying up, and like chips and beer is like just in slow motion.
It's like da 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 da.
Yeah, I can. I can remember Bob's face hit the top of the car. He had this face. He goes.
It's slow motion. It was like that Inception movie. You were 2 levels off. Your life was a Christopher Nolan directed.
We're all like flying up there, like going up there like this bit. And my God, like forever. And then all of a sudden we go, bam, and we hit. And Dave, we landed, bam, right in the middle of the highway. All 4 hubcaps shot off the car. The speedometer broke, went down, and we just boom, 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 boom. And just started just driving straight. And I swear to God, we're all sitting there, and we're like, disheveled, and there's beer and, chips all over us. We're all sitting there. We're driving around the road for just about half a mile. And then finally, I think Billy goes, man, that was fucked up.
For real. For reals.
I love that we both have an airborne story.
Airborne. Right. That is something.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh man. You were talking though about that drinking at an early age.
Yeah.
I did the same thing you did. My friend Joe Mullins and I stole some whiskey from his dad, and stole his dad's car like in the 8th grade, and we went out driving. We're driving his car around, and it is the same thing. You're just drinking, like thinking, I can drink all this, whatever. Well, Joe and I just got fucked up, so we had to get home. and it was getting kind of, sun was coming and starting to come up around, about dawn. And we go back to Joe's house. I remember we're driving. It was one of those, it was like a Delta 88. It was like an Oldsmobile. What is an Oldsmobile stories? Yeah. So we're driving up, and I remember we pull up, we're going on the road kind of slow because Joe wants to pull in slow to his driveway. And all of a sudden, Joe just starts going past the driveway. I'm like, Joe, what's going on? What's going on? He goes, the fucking brakes are gone. The brakes are gone. And they were gone. He was like trying to hit it. I don't know what happened, but they were gone. We didn't wreck the car or anything. Just something happened. And so we're going down this road, and I remember his road kind of slipped up a little bit. The next thing we know, we're going, okay. And he looked at me and goes, man, we got to go Fred Flintstone on this motherfucker. I'm like, what? He goes, open the door, put your foot out. And so we did. Yeah. So we have opened the door up, and we're like trying to stop the car as we're driving along down the road, trying to stop it. And we finally kind of got it stopped, and then we had to let it roll back, and then we had to go push it into the driveway, lock it, sneak back in the house, and got in there. And I remember I was spending the night over there, so I'm sleeping on the floor. Joe's in the bed. I told Joe, I go, hey man, you gonna tell your dad that those brakes are out? He goes, fuck no, man, I'll get in trouble for that shit. And so we passed out. We passed out, right? We woke up a couple hours later to his dad cussing up a storm because his dad had got in the car.
Oh, man.
Backed it out, shot across the street, and smashed into a tree in his neighbor's yard.
Oh, it's hilarious.
And Joe, I remember hearing his dad, motherfucker, car went to saying all this stuff, and I'm laying there, and I'm thinking to myself, but I don't say anything. And all of a sudden, Joe out of the blue goes, if you say one fucking word, I swear to God, I'll kill you.
It's important.
Oh, it was crazy, man.
Oh, man.
I love those kind of stories. I can't believe I lived through all that shit, man.
The craziest story is, this didn't happen to me, the craziest one I ever heard. There's an old man that lived in my hometown. Did you ever hear me tell that story about the guy that cut his toe off?
Yeah, you told it on here one time. He put it on. Okay.
Guy, the same guy. So Ed Cox.
Yeah.
No, or was it his rival? No, it was Ed. It was Ed.
His rival?
He had a rival liar. There were two guys. There was Ed Cox and Harold Harding, and they were just extremely. They were the raconteur.
Oh, man.
They were like real. Ed Cox, like you could just say anything to him, and he would all goddamn. And I was just walking by, sitting in front of the store, and like I had a dent in the hood or something. I just pulled, done something dumb. And dented the hood some way. Like, damn, what happened to your car, boy? And I was telling him. He said, well, that's something, but ain't nothing like a time. I'll tell you what happened to me one time. And then he would have this story that was just this epic Southern story. And he said, yeah, my God, I had to take these kids over the other side, over to North Carolina and go across the Smoky Mountain. And he said everything went fine except on the way back. At the very peak, the brakes give way on the bus. And I said, the bus just started freewheeling down these switchbacks. School bus. And he said, the kids started screaming and everything, and I think we're going to all die. And he said, I thought of something real quick. He said, I turned around. I said, hey, y'all listen to me now. You got one way to get out of this. You got to do exactly what I tell you. And hell, that's what they did. And I'd say, go left when we'd be going to a corner to the right. Everybody would go to the right. And I'd say left, and they'd go to the left. And he said, somehow or another, we made it down all the way to the end of the Smoky Mountains. And a state trooper was down there. And he pulled out his right lights as soon as we got past him. And it took him 5 miles to catch us. And when he finally pulled us over, he said, you know how fast you was going? I said, no, I had no idea. He said, clocked you at 140.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I told him what happened. And he got on the phone. He got on the radio, and somebody got on the phone. And before you know it, the mayor was out there. The mayor come talk to him. He said, by the end of the day, he give me the key to the city and a parade. So then he say, so what happened to your car? And I'm like, nothing.
Yeah, really.
No, it's not nothing. Ain't nothing.
God dented it.
Yeah,
he came down and actually did it, but that's nothing compared to your story.
We had we had these two amazing guys that were just like,
oh man.
Boy.
And there's certain people you know in life, and it's like you just love hearing their stories, you know.
Yeah.
My friend Bill's one of those people that he grew up pretty crazy, and so he's got like nutty stories. One of my favorite ones is that they were in Tulsa.
Is it Billy Bake?
No, but Billy's got. I'm gonna get Billy on my other. By the way, I'm gonna do a shout out here. My other podcast, The Art of Idiocy, which y'all should check out. I'm gonna get Billy Bake on this one because Billy Bake and I one time went to spring break down in Florida, and we got a story about how talk about a bus. A whole bus full of people hated our fucking guts for 25 hours and tried to leave us in Georgia. Tried to like literally leave us. So I've got another. We'll get Billy on it. We'll get Billy on the phone and have him tell this story. I mean, people hated it. I mean, fucking hated us. I mean, when you're in the middle of Georgia and you're running after a bus, it's like trying to leave you. It's like you start going, man, maybe I've approached this all wrong. It's like, but Bill had these crazy stories. One time he was in Tulsa, and they were drinking in some bar in town, and they were going to all leave and go to some other party, like let's say, and I don't know enough about it, but like on the east side of town, right? They're going to go to some party. Well, Bill and this other guy took off driving. I think the other guy was driving, and Bill was in the car with him. And this other guy was in law school, right? And I'm just going to tell you this. We'll come back to that. So they went to go to this party. They never made it to the party. Bill woke up the next day, woke up at home. Kevin Kelly came over with that guy, whoever that guy is, and started talking to them, and they both have no recollection of what happened. No recollection. But Kevin was at the party. He goes, y'all don't remember that? And they go, we never made it to the party. He goes, oh, you came fucking close. And he goes, what? They go, y'all don't remember? He go, y'all drove past that party, and we were trying to chase you, trying to get you to stop, and y'all never stopped. I'm like, what? Well, then the guy was talking. The guy that was in law school that had been doing the driving. He had this tape recorder, and he looked at this. He goes, look, man, because he had a tape recorder. He would tape in class. He goes, why does this thing run all the way out? So they put it in and rewound it, and come to find out when Bill and that guy left, somehow they had punched this thing, and so they had taped the whole conversation of the night. And so apparently, like, you're supposed to go east, right? It's like this party's like on 23rd Street, right? At one point, you hear Bill and this guy wasted, and finally this guy goes, man, where are we? And Bill goes, oh, here's a street sign right here. Yeah, we're 154th Street. I mean, they're like so far away. And they're trying to drive and turn, and the guy goes, I'm going to turn around, and Bill goes, well, you're driving into a yard. Ah, it's okay. You're driving into a yard. And then all of a sudden you hear him stop and go, hey, man, we're not moving. And like, what is it? And Bill said you can hear him get out and go, oh, shit. We're centered. And they had driven up, apparently when they had ascertained, they had driven up on a rock in somebody's yard. And their car was like in the middle of it. It was like stuck right in the middle. And so Bill, he goes, you can hear their panic in the voice trying to push the car off and everything. And they were right by a house, afraid they're going to get people in there, like pushing and they finally got the car off. And then somehow they came over to where the party was. And this is where Kevin Kelly came in. And he said, yeah, man. He goes, and you would hear them go, hey, look, man, there's Kevin's car. And they would drive along. And Kevin said what would happen is they would see them drive by the house, and everybody would run out and start chasing them. And they would just keep driving, and everybody chase them. They'd drive away. And then they'd come back around again. Everybody see them. They'd start chasing, drive around. And then those tape, you keep going, there's Kevin Kelly's car again. And it's like about 7 minutes later, hey, there's Kevin Kelly's car again. These guys just going around. Just these crazy, I mean, Bill's got these stories about he grew up and saw all these crazy punk bands and shit in Tulsa, and just stories. I love to hear them. I love hearing a great story.
Yeah. Well, you tell a good one, so.
Well, I tell you the story I love of yours, and if you want to throw in a little bit, if you don't want me to say anything about it, that one about when you went out a girl that gave you acid. That fucking story cracks me up.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah.
True story. Yeah.
You want to throw a little bit of it in here?
Sure.
I hate to put you on the spot, but
this was a girl.
And let me preface this. I saw this with Dave when we first started out doing storytelling together. I think we're up at a house. Were we up at a house up north or something?
Yeah, in that Travis country or
like in some weird
ranch or
in some really nice house. It was really
real suburban.
You're real suburban. It was weird, and then there was you and me, and it was like, and that other girl that tells the same story about her boyfriend always ODing or some shit like that. Whatever.
One.
You know, her sympathy factors are so not there, and because we've heard it a million fucking times. But you told me, I remember you told me, go, yeah, man, and we're like, I remember we were sitting there, and we didn't really know each other that well, but we were sitting there, and it was like this really nice environment with all these people kind of getting along. And I remember you looked at me, and go, yeah, man, I'm gonna tell a story tonight about dropping acid. I don't think it's going to go very fucking well. Like, going, man, that is some balls, bro.
Actually,
I mean, they're serving like cheese balls and sausage and a hot dog and a bun and all that kind of shit. They're serving all this nice food and wine. And Dave, yeah, I'm gonna do a story about dropping acid, man. I don't think it's gonna go well.
But actually, it did go well.
It did.
But it did. It
went by the way, there was little kids there too. They had kids. Yeah.
See, I had told her, I was like, this is a really adult themed story I want to tell. She's like, just tell them whatever you want to.
Yeah.
So they were interesting people too. Remember the old guy that told the story?
Oh, he told a great story about his wife beating that guy up.
Yeah, like something in a restaurant in Houston.
Yeah, like how his boss said, "Don't ever let that one go. She's the best woman I've ever seen."
Yeah, that's right.
Because she jumped in the back of somebody who was fighting him and like beat him up.
Did it have something to do with smoking, putting a cigarette out or something?
Yeah, something.
He was telling like, "This is no smoking," and the other guy took umbrage and. Yeah, they sort of locked horns, but the wife knocked the guy with a chair.
Yeah, knocked off the chair and like
that's
right in front of his boss and his boss and everything. And that's what boss was like. My God, that's the greatest woman I've ever seen.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm going to tell a outre avant-garde story. Here's this old guy. Yeah, my wife about near killed a guy once over me.
All the little kids are eating all this shit up.
Yeah,
they're like, Mom, Dad, this is the greatest night ever.
And I'm like, Brian, we're not the best storytellers in town. We're not even the best storytellers in this kitchen. we wanted to get isn't he the guy that has the clock museum?
Yeah, he has a clock museum in Lockhart.
Yeah, Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, man. That old guy was great.
He was awesome. We should get him for a Ronkin Tour storytelling party.
God, man.
And by the way, when this COVID is over, anybody watching this, come to Austin. We will have another one of our storytelling events.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, we should do it out here.
Hell yeah. Yeah, they got the ultimate pad.
We got room. No. But go ahead.
What? And that's it. That's. I mean, so.
I wanted to hear your answer.
Oh, the story about the girl.
Yeah. Do you want to save it for another fun?
No, I'm happy. to tell
Okay.
it. No, I met this beautiful girl, like just on a whim. I was leaving Barton Springs one day. It was hot in the summer, and I went to the first of the little pop-up stands. This wasn't even a thing, but it was like smoothies and stuff like coffee and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was the beginning of some like that kind of became famous for juices, but honey flow or something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And I went up there and there was like turned away from me and just like, a thin, beautiful summer dress with brightly striped, with auburn hair pinned, like in a long tail, and like turned around and she was like, Irish hippie goddess queen.
Yeah.
I mean, like, wow. Eyebrows like this, sparkly green eyes. Just, a freaking vision. And, man, I made the most of that smoothie trip. I'll tell you that.
Sip that one real slow.
Oh, I was into that smoothie. But she didn't need a lot of, she was like pretty flirtatious herself, And she was like, she had like, I'm like, I think she's a good witch. Good witch. Yeah, good witch. That's what. And so I wound up like I gave her a ride home that night.
Uh-huh.
And when we got to the neighborhood where she lived, over in like French Place up in there, Cherrywood.
Yeah.
Like I noticed as we pulled into the house, where her house actually was right next to my. I was kind of dating a girl then.
Oh yeah.
And like her brother hung out at this house because this was her. Yeah, her brother was like boyfriends with the guy that lived. Anyway, there was a direct connection between the girl I was kind of dating and this girl.
Yeah.
Which I thought would never twain come to meet, but it did.
Yeah.
And somehow I pulled it off. Okay. The dog came out barking. It's like, David, is that you? What are you doing? And the brother came out.
Oh, the brother came out?
The brother came out
shit.
and saw me bringing this girl who he had no doubt noticed was quite the beauty.
Oh.
And he said, oh, David, I see. Totally cool. Never blew my cover or anything like that, And so then, but I made, I made a date with this girl the next weekend. And so I showed back up at her house, and like she just opens the door and says, come in. And then she opens up her hand. She said, you want to have a real special time tonight? I'm like, yeah, of course. And she had 2 little squares of paper.
Yeah.
2 little, I'm like, is that what I think it is? And she said, yeah, microdots of LSD. She said, do you want to do it? You want to do one? I'm like, sure. And then she said, okay, open up. And she put it on my tongue. Yeah. And I waited till it dissolved. And I was like, watching her all the time, just, not doing anything, just watching me. And then I said, okay, and you want me to put that in your mouth? She said, oh, I'm not going to do it. Oh! And I said, what? She said, no, I think it'd be more fun to see, just to be with you when you do it.
Oh,
and
my God.
I'm like, holy fucking cow.
Oh.
I'm not even on the same playing board as this.
Oh, man.
She was very, very clever. She's very awesome, beautiful, smart,
devious, and
just mind like that. The kind of mind that would do that to you. And so I'm like, God damn it, I've been played so hard.
Oh, man.
But I was cool. Oh, that's Albert Collins singing it. But I was cool. And we had some kind of thing. We were going to go, some music thing. And so we left, and we left her house. And she said, she was over there, as I was driving. She said, look, I just kind of sheepishly, not like her. She was just beaming and all. She's like, I just need to ask you something. She said, now, I don't want you to be judgmental. I just need a favor. I'm like, sure, what? And she said, I need for you to go somewhere so I can get some money. I just need to make a quick stop somewhere to get some money. I said, sure. She said, well, I'll just guide you there. You just go where I tell you. And so we went a few blocks and back, and we wound up back on the feeder road of the interstate, and she had to take a ride at the next business. The next business was this place that was like, it was the Crazy Lady. It was like a strip club, and it was the sleaziest. It's the bottom.
It was the one over on 35.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. Underneath the highways. Yeah.
She said, just pull in this parking lot here, and I've got to go in and get some money. And so I just pulled in the parking lot. I was surprised.
Let me ask you a question. What? How are you tripping right now?
Just starting to come on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming on, and I'm noticing it, and like I'm driving, and like everything's
You're
sparkly.
Driving.
Yeah.
Great.
Everything's all sparkly and beautiful, and then, but I'm absolutely like over my head. Not adjusting in a period of transition.
I'm acclimating quite well.
Yeah. Except for then all of a sudden she's just like, this filled with shame. This, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to ask you to do this. Don't think bad of me. And so I'm like, oh, it's no problem. I pull in the parking lot. I stop the truck. I turn off the engine, and we sit there. And she's got her head down there, and then she just turns her head and she says, "You thought I worked here? Are you fucking crazy? Do I look like the kind of girl that would work at the Crazy Lady?"
Oh, you don't look like it, but you're acting like it.
And I'm like, kabloom! I'm like, that's it. I mean, I'm done. What?
Oh man!
And she said, man, I got you so bad.
Oh, that's just fucking mean.
But it didn't turn out to be. It was just a fucking game that was like on another level.
Oh, man. What, did you wind up going to see a show that night?
Yeah.
And how?
Oh, we had a great time.
Oh, you did?
We had a great time. I somehow got back at her some way. I don't remember what I did, but I eventually like picked up my game enough to sort of get it back.
Would you put like some weed in her
No,
purse and turn her into the cops?
just I made her think something that wasn't true, or I convinced her to do something. It was just turned out to
dance at the crazy lady.
Yeah, I mean, it just turned out to be like a Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote sort of deal, you know. I mean, if it wasn't for that package from Acme being late, I think I might have won that one. But we had a great time, and we wound up going out. She was just, I mean, a fucking riot. I mean, just like, like I say, some kind of Irish hippie goddess.
Well, because I got to tell you, when you told me that story, as soon as she said, oh, no, I'm not going to do the acid, I fucking hated her guts. Right. As soon as she said, I fucking hated her guts. Then when she did the crazy lady thing, kind of had some mad respect for her right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you guys actually had a good time, because I was like, fuck, that would be so hard. If I had the acid, I would be like, I gotta go. I don't know what the fuck. You're not gonna do it with me. And it's like, the beauty of it.
She had just a sort of a, I mean, her smile was absolutely like a fucking from the soul, radiant blast of Irish sunshine, and she turned it on very easily. She had like a big Carly Simon kind of mouth, you know, it's like just kablam, die for. And you know, just the way she looked, it was like.
Oh, man.
I mean, it was like just her way of looking at you was just so contagiously beautiful that there was no way to take any of it personally. It was just,
oh man,
you're in the presence of a mistress, whatever. Hey man, thanks for letting me tell that. I love that story.
No, I do too.
And that girl, that's one of the most amazing things.
You know, I think I started to just put the time down, but I don't really know how long we've been going.
Shit, I'm good.
About an hour, about a little over an hour.
Fuck, let's go.
You know,
keep going.
About
I'm having a great time.
You know, I could tell crazy stories all day long.
I
obviously,
have to go out to the.
No, but you're asking like I'm pretty lucky. Like I said, Billy tells crazy stories because those guys, like I say, anybody that grew up in a city has different stories than I did growing up in a small town.
Yeah.
I mean, because those cats, they tell stories about going to concerts and all this shit.
Yeah.
That I'm envious of. I wish I could get to do all that kind of crap. You know, mine are stories of like basically hanging out on dirt roads, you know, drinking and doing shit and rolling cars and scaring the fuck out of people. I mean, I remember I remember one time that I don't know if I told you this, that there was like a graveyard that was like there kind of on the outskirts of town, and people would go out there, you know, go drinking and stuff. And I remember one time there was a girls' sorority, like this like girls' sorority thing in high school. I don't know what it was, but they were going to go out there, right? And I remember we thought, hey man, let's go out there.
Is this the plot to Carrie? Are you telling?
It is. Isn't it? It's very close. Yeah. So we thought, hey, let's all go out there and let's go hide out there before they get out there and let's scare the shit out of them, right? A bunch of us, we thought it'd be a great idea, right? So we're drunk and we're high, and we get out there and we're just kind of fucking around, do other drink. We had parked our cars way off, and we see their headlights coming up. So like, okay, so we all like climbed up in trees or behind tombstones and all this stuff and everything. And those girls come out like laughing and all that stuff. They come out, and as soon as they got out there, we all jumped out of the trees and jumped up, scared the shit out of them. I felt horrible because I saw these poor girls screaming like
it's just an awful thing,
like they're gonna die, just screaming and just running smack face into tombstones and graveyards and over stuff. And oh man, I felt horrible because in our mind's eye, this is going to be this brilliantly hilarious thing.
Yeah.
Just this can be the most awesome thing. Oh, I felt so bad. It's like,
oh man.
oh,
That's.
the worst I ever felt is I was in college, and for a brief moment, I joined a fraternity. A brief moment of thinking that I needed to be something else, and I do, but not a fraternity guy. And so I got there, and so I was always drinking, and stuff. And I was always like, pretty much drunk all the time almost. And so these guys look at me in the pledge class, go, and I'm always, because I'm drunk, I'm talking to everybody, right? And they go, hey man, you should be social chairman. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? I don't want to be fucking social chairman. They go, well, what it is that you get to plan our parties and there's a budget. And I'm like, well, there's a budget for drinking? I'm like, I'll be social chairman. Okay, cool. Yeah, that'll work. So I thought, for the first thing, I got to put on.
Where were you?
Actually, I went my first year to the University of Oklahoma, and this was at the University of Oklahoma. I left after that.
What is with that damn Topo Chico bubbling like that?
I know,
it just all of a sudden starts?
It's like possessed. It's like possessed.
That looks good.
I know. You want one?
Yeah.
There's one in the kitchen.
Oh, go. All right.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get one. So I thought I got to put on a really good party. I got to really impress everybody. So we rented out like a room, like a party room at some apartments, right? Yeah. And I thought, okay, what am I going to do? I got to make this classy. What's classy? Champagne fountain. That's classy. I'm going to rent out a champagne fountain, and I'm going to put champagne in there. That's going to be my party. That would be my classy party for this fraternity, and we had a sorority coming along with it. That's it.
No other plans.
And to this day, Dave, I do not know. I swear to God, I swear on a stack of Bibles, I do not know how I came up with this idea. I don't know how. I'm not proud of it. I have no idea. At this moment, when I go, champagne, that's it. That's perfect. Oh, probably needs like one more thing, though. One more thing. Everclear. What the fuck am I thinking?
Well,
I thought...
That sounds like a... It sounds like you're giving her the old college.
But here's what I thought. Everclear. So I made the champagne thing, and then started pouring Everclear into it and tasting it, kind of like, okay, getting it. Yeah, just right. Yeah. Okay, nobody can taste this.
Spiking that shit.
Fuck. I don't know why. I just... Oh, man. I mean, white trash. I mean, that's white trash beyond white trash.
That's white trash.
Right? So that's what I do.
Trashy.
So all of a sudden, the party starts, right? Everybody's drinking from the champagne Everclear fountain, right? Drinking from it. And for a brief moment, Dave, for a brief fucking moment, I remember sitting back thinking, you know what? I pulled this off. I pulled off this classy event. I, Brian Fuller, pulled off this classy champagne Everclear event, right? Yeah. Thinking, oh, pretty good. And then all of a sudden I hear, kabam! And I'm like, look over, and some girl has just walked right into the sliding glass door, face first, and hit it, and just fell back. And then, Dave, it was like fucking dominoes, man. I mean, all of a sudden you see people like, and the Everclear hit them. They're all like start falling down, and people are falling over furniture and falling into walls. And I can see out around the pool that people are falling down on the ground. And it was like bodies were just going everywhere.
Did you think you'd been poisoned or something?
Well, they were. I felt. I was like, oh fuck, this is like, it was like a Civil War scene again, except there's Madras and bows and hairs, and Madras shorts, and so I'm.
Jesus. I remember that puts it at a certain place in time, doesn't it?
And so I remember looking at this, going, "Holy shit!" I go, "What do I do? What do I do?" I go, "I know what I do. I'm fucking leaving." So I was like, "Fuck this."
Good idea.
Fuck this. I'm walking over.
Love the instinct.
Oh
George.
Man, I'm walking over people out in the parking lot. I'm stepping over folks. Get in my car.
Golly, with your blam, turn on the windshield wiper.
And driving away. I'm like, fuck
bloop,
this.
Bloop, bloop, bloop. Running over bodies. Yeah, I think they were zombies. So
the next day, I have to go to the fraternity house, right? They go, hey, we need to come over. I'm like, the whole way I'm walking over going, oh, shit. How am I gonna explain this? I don't even know why I did. Why did I do that? Oh, my God. Did somebody, oh, my God, I can't. I'm just freaking out, right? I walk in and they go, "Hey, Brian, about the party last night." I go, yeah, man. Look, man, I'm really, like I don't know what I just. And they go, "Just want to tell you, that was the best goddamn party we've ever had." And I go, "What?" They go, "That was the best fucking party. That was the best one, man. By God, that's it. You are our social chairman. You are that." And that instant, Dave, I go, "Yeah, I quit." And they go, "What is social chairman?" I go, "No, I quit the whole fucking thing, the fraternity, everything." And they go, "What?" I go, "Just got to quit, see, bye," and walked out, and they didn't get it. But I was sitting in my head, I go, these people don't get it. I'm going to kill somebody. If I have this power, if I have a party budget, I'm going to kill somebody at some point. So I just quit right then. That was it.
I think you fucked up. I think you should have run with it.
I'd be in prison.
You gave up.
I'd be in prison
Yeah,
right
but
now.
the story.
Yeah, but the story.
Brian Fuller, the party puller.
Hey, Death Row, tell us another story.
Oh, it wouldn't be that bad. Back in the days before MAD, you could get away with slaughtering a few innocents in the name of a good party.
Oh, man, it was like, I've just felt so bad about that, man. I still have remorse.
Oh.
If anybody's here,
me too.
If
God,
anybody sees this, I'm
man.
like, I apologize. I don't know why I don't know why I did that.
No, there's
felt
awful.
terrible.
Yeah, we're only telling about the things that are funny. Not the. Yeah,
the bad ones.
I do remember one time my friend Kenny, the guy who had done the driving.
Oh my God!
His uncle, he had an uncle named. Damn, I see this guy's face. I love this guy to death too. Daryl Coleman. He was the very cool uncle, and like had a gap tooth and just funny as hell, and let you boys raise. He like, goddamn, you get in a fight, you'd have to like. He'd get them boys some gloves. We're gonna square off and settle it, and just beat the piss out of each other.
Oh yeah,
in his yard, and have him out there refereeing like, God damn it, settle it now. We ain't gonna have this later. And wife like, is this a good idea? And he's like, and then I remember at a time it was like when "Don't Fear the Reaper" was famous. The song by
Blew us a call. Hell yeah!
Because then he got us in the car. The fight was just turned out to be a good thing. Have the fight, get it over with, and go on. And he got us in his car to go somewhere down some old gravel road. And he was cool as fuck, and the windows were all down. And that song came on the radio, and it was like a '65 like Cadillac Coupe de Ville. It had white with fins, and it was older one enough to have these fins like that, and had a 502 cubic inch.
Oh my God!
I mean a hog.
Oh my God!
I mean a goddamn pull a log out from under the tree kind of thing.
Oh man!
And so we're hauling ass down this road, and singing, and here come "Don't Fear the Reaper." And he's singing along. He's cool.
How old were you?
We're like this before we could drive, probably 14, 15, 16.
Just picturing y'all in this car.
Yeah.
Don't fear. Who's doing cowbell? Who's doing cowbell?
Yeah, 40,000 men win every day. 40,000. Yeah. And try and doing that.
Oh yeah, that lick.
And Daryl's singing along and just gap tooth, just grinning all the time. And we went by this place where there was it was a go-kart course, like a big one with a dirt track.
Yeah.
And it was off season, and he slowed down just as we drove by and looked and saw the goddamn gate was open and nobody was down there.
Oh no.
And he said, get out and open the goddamn gate. A couple of us got up and pushed these gates open, and he got that fucking Cadillac out on that go-kart course.
Oh my God.
And said, let's see how she goes, boys. And he, "Don't Fear the Reaper's" on, and that Cadillac's going fishtailing, and he's laughing, and we're squalling. And he takes 4 or 5 rounds and just throw up a goddamn Hiroshima-level mushroom cloud out of that dirt on that track.
Oh my God.
And come out of that place just looking like a goddamn come through the desert or something. The car did. And he stopped me, turned and said, "Not a goddamn word about this to anybody's mama." I don't want most of you tell your daddies, but some of them's cool.
Oh Oh,
you know,
my
but
God.
all of them I tell their mamas about this. And, I mean, it was just like, oh, God damn. Precious memories, how they... I'm having a stroke. God damn it, I knew it was going to happen. It's like when Iron Man died.
Man, I love that.
Isn't it
Love
good?
that.
Isn't it good?
I have a similar dirt story.
A dirt story.
Dirt story.
Right, dirt's,
like, yeah.
Dirt's the next phase.
Yeah, dirt's the next phase. And this one is... I'll go ahead and tell it. Yeah.
Tell it.
Yeah. My friend, when I was probably in junior high, like 8th, 9th grade. And I was over at my friend Brent Jones' house. And he had the older sister. And Brent and I were hanging out, fuck around. And this guy named... I don't know what his name was. His name was Johnny something. But he drove one of those Dodge Super Bs, you know, the yellow one with the B on the back. Was that like a GTO-ish or I don't know what they were, a Dodge Super B, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Maybe that's what it is, a Dodge Super B. I don't know shit about cars.
Oh, like kind of like a dart, but
like a
souped up dart.
Yeah. Right, and it was yellow,
yeah.
The B on it, right?
Got it.
So this guy drove that car. We showed up, and he was trying to date Brent's sister. We got there, and I guess he wanted to bang Brent's sister so bad that he looks at us because we're hanging around there fucking around and we're cock blocking him big time, right? He looks at, he goes, hey fellas, and he throws the keys to Brent of that car. He goes, why don't you take my car out driving around for a while? There's a 6-pack of beer in the front seat. And Brent and I are like, what? We're like, this is how horny this guy was. He gives 2 14 or 15-year-olds the keys to his fucking badass car to drive around for a while so he can get with his sister, right?
Nice. So
we get in the car, and Brent, just who's crazy as shit, fires it up. We just take off. Brent acts like he's been driving every goddamn day of his life, right? Take off. We crack these beers, and we're drinking them, and we're driving along. And Brent even went down the fucking main drag, which is crazy as shit. But then we got a little nervous, like, oh, I ought to stick to the side roads. So we're doing it, and all of a sudden, we're driving along, same thing. Brent sees this field out there. And I don't know what happened with Brent. And Brent's going along. We're drinking a couple beers. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, Brent just goes, hey, that field looks good. And just cuts into this field. And takes this Dodge Super B badass car in this field. And just starts flooring it, going, woo, woo, woo. And starts flooring it and starts doing these donuts. And we have the windows rolled down, right?
Oh, boy.
And so the same thing you had. The dust is everywhere. The dirt's everywhere flying up. And we're driving. Brent's doing the same. He's driving around and he goes, and all of a sudden Brent starts screaming out, yeah, Johnny, I'm going to fuck your car like you're fucking my sister. I'm going to fuck up your car like you're fucking my sister. I'm going to fuck your car like you're fucking my sister. And I'm sitting there going, what the fuck is going on? I'm like hanging on the side. Dust is going everywhere. You know, hanging a beer, just trying to hold it. You know, and finally it gets, woo, kind of stopped, right? And all of a sudden, like, you know, you're sitting there and the dust is kind of all over there and it's all over your face and everything. And I look, I go, Brent, are you okay? And he kind of looks at me and goes, yeah, man, I'm fine. And just puts his drives up, just goes on about our way. We drive up to the house, and we've been gone for a long time. We drive up to the house. All of a sudden, here's Johnny out there with Brent's sister, right? And he is fucking pissed, right? We've been gone. And he sees all the cars, like dust all over the car and everything. You know, runs up, what the fuck? And runs up there and, like, you know, beers all over the place, and it's all muddy and shit and everything. And I can still remember we got the car, and I'm like, oh, my God. We got the car, and he looks and he goes, look, Brent, and he goes, what the fuck did you do to my car? And Brent, in the coolest move I've ever seen, walks by the guy, throws his keys at him. He goes, same thing you're doing to my sister, motherfucker.
Oh, sweet.
Wow.
Sweet. So sweet.
Yeah, it was one of those, like, whoa.
Yeah. He kind of traded his sister for a joyride in a way, didn't he?
He did.
He sort of like
he did.
made a calculation.
He did.
Yeah.
But when you said that, you talk about the dirt, I know what you're talking about. When you're going like that and that dirt is flying in on every window, just coming in. Because I bet you guys were just caked with dirt.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, like our teeth, you know. Like,
I know. You can hear it crunching.
Just all gritty. Because we were all just like dogs. You know, our heads were out the window, and Daryl's up there like open them windows, boys. Get them heads out. I mean, totally irresponsible. Completely. Oh, man, what a. Yeah, I mean, just everybody's got to need somebody that'll do that in their life.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, you got to have those. You got to have those moments.
Yeah.
If you don't know those moments, and by the way, if you know those moments younger, it's scarier to try to do those moments when you're older.
Yeah,
that's not good. That's when jail time gets involved.
unless you're like Evel Knievel.
Yeah,
or, you know, get I mean, like, and that's the thing. That's what, like, this was about the time Evel Knievel was famous.
Everybody.
Every like sort of incipient daredevil.
Oh yeah,
was into that. You know, and he was a god like. You know, Evel Knievel.
Oh no, you had Evel Knievel, Muhammad Ali. Those two together were like everything I needed growing up.
They were major stars. You know, and I mean. You know, I guess Evel Knievel turned out to be a pretty shitty guy in some ways.
Probably.
But, you know, fascinating cat. Man,
oh yeah.
You know, just to make the whole deal. Did you watch the Snake River?
Oh yeah.
You were watching it live?
Oh yeah. I could never figure out why he was trying to do that. I was like, this doesn't even make sense.
Well, I mean, okay, so it doesn't make sense it does. Okay, I gotta admit, it does not make a lot of sense to harness yourself into like a canister and have something kind of catapult you across a major.
Because that's what got me as I was going. Well, you're a motorcycle guy. It looks like you're in a rocket. That's what got me.
I think that maybe the thing was, didn't he have to sort of, wasn't it like a rocket cycle or something?
I don't know.
But
he's lucky that it blew up. That it blew that thing out and deployed the.
Yeah, he got his chute went out.
Because if it wouldn't have, it would have. Because I think he had this thing on the front that was supposed to like absorb the shock, right? And apparently, when it came down with the parachute and that thing hit, it just broke. So I mean, if he would have hit, it'd have been like, forget it, man, forget it.
Damn.
But that's another. I know. Okay, we probably should wrap this up because we're going pretty long here, because that's a good spot to stop, because we should do some more about that 70s Daredevil shit. I love that stuff at some other date. Well,
I mean, between Evel Knievel and Kenny Nance and Daryl Coleman, that's about it. I've covered it. Infinito.
There we go.
As the documents say.
Well, we actually had a whole... I love this because we actually had all these other things we're going to talk about, and we didn't get to any of them.
Nothing.
Any of them.
One thing.
So I appreciate you, Dave, starting off with the improv warm up. I think it set a precedent that I think we have a new way to go here.
This and that and this and that and this and that.
There we are. So that's it, folks. This is another episode of Rancanturista.
Yo.
Please go to we have a website, we have YouTube, we have podcasts, we have if you want a shirt, let us know. We'll make a shirt for you. What else do we have? World domination coming soon. Yeah, on that. So I guess I hate to say.
Oh, and a tequila, a line of tequila soon.
Tequila soon. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I hate to say goodbye, but we got to leave them wanting more. I hope they want more. They might just want us to go.
I mean, if you're in it this deep.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it's like there ain't no turning back now.
Here's what I say. Look out. You only got 10 more inches to go.
And with that, we're done. I think we have the name of the podcast.
10 inches to go. Yeah, that is pretty good.